Hey there, and welcome to Real Brides. This is the podcast where we sit down with recently married brides to talk all things wedding, with real advice from brides who have been there, done that, and want to help you do it better. I'm Rosana with Shotwell Productions, New Jersey's highest rated photography and videography company. Let's dive in. Hello, thank you so much, Rebecca, for being on our podcast today, where we are going to talk about the planning, and more specifically, we're going to talk about budget, because you really mastered a budget, and we want to know all about it, because I feel like that's like the biggest thing that every bride has to go through is like, how much money can I spend? Like, where am I supposed to be spending it? So, how did you come about with your budget?
So first off, thank you for having me. I'm so glad that you're doing this. So excited. So budget wise, so stressful. So everybody gets engaged and they're like, oh my goodness, like Pinterest Central is like the only thing I can think about. It's like everybody's like, look at Pinterest, and then but they don't talk about the money like at all.
Yeah.
You sit with your partner or whoever's gonna help you like do your wedding, and you're like, I don't know how much it's gonna cost. So my husband and I sat for like 2 days and we're like, what kind of wedding do we want? Like how like extravagant? Now like we're both basically mostly Italian, along with like Irish and Polish and everything else, but mostly Italian. So we both knew we wanted that like extravagant like Italian wedding with like the big dress and the big please.
And you're in Jersey,
And we were in Jersey. So, yeah. So we had to sit there and figure out like financially how much could we put aside. And I think the other thing that people like don't think about, or that I think should be considered, is like once you get engaged, how long do you want to be engaged?
Oh, yeah.
Like we did a 2-year engagement. So in 2 years, that was enough time for me and my husband to put money away for our dream wedding.
Yeah,
so
that's a long time. 2 years doesn't seem like a long time, but that's a long time for planning.
Right. But it was enough for us to be able to say, okay, we could put the deposit down. We could hire you to do our pictures and our video and all our stuff and the flowers and all the stuff.
Yeah.
So I think those are things people don't think about because they're like, oh, I want to get married right away. But availability of your venue, how crazy you want to get, all those things end up coming into play for your budget.
So did you like go tour venues, find one that you like, and then find out how much it is and then factor that into a budget? Or do you have a budget first and you were like, we can only look at places that fit in our budget?
No. So we did a lot of those. Well, my poor husband, I think I shoved him to like 4 bridal expos. Poor baby. Like, I just dragged him. I was like, we have to go. Like, you have to come with me. And he's like, I really don't want to do this. Like, this is not like, I just want to come and show up because you told me to. But we went to a couple of ones that were like at like venues. So like the Venetian, and then the Tides, and we went everywhere just like, because the other thing was they were hosting the event anyway. So you got to see the place.
Yeah.
Plus everybody else. Like
it's like 2 birds, 1 stone. Well, I guess.
Right. So it wasn't a bad thing. So that's kind of how we did it. So like the Venetian from where we are in Jersey is close. And then the Tides had a nostalgic feel, which my parents got married there, which was the other reason why we wanted to pick it.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes, because my parents got married there 35 years ago or longer. That's why we picked it. But they were in our budget. When we went to talk to them at the expo, they were like, oh, this is how much we charge for a plate. Now, mind you, remember, I got married during COVID. So I got engaged in 2018 and I got married in 2020. So I don't know how,
it
obviously got affected. But when we went and talked to them, from what I remember, because I actually pulled my budget binder out like a couple weeks ago when we talked about this to look, it was $125 a person. That's what. So to me, that wasn't awful because we looked at places that were like $225 a plate, and my husband and I were like, no way. Like,
well, did the Tide include like the bar tab, like with alcohol?
Yeah. So 125 included open bar. The like main course dinner and like the cocktail hour, and then the Venetian hour extra, like at the end. Because I think we were planning to go over 1 hour on our like timeline, but we were okay with it because we were like, it's 1 hour extra, so it was fine. And then obviously, if you're somebody like I had kids at my wedding, I know that that's like a topic for everybody. Like some people want kids, some people don't want kids. Just with my family alone, we had, I think, 4. So it wasn't a bad number. It wasn't like 20. It was 4. So obviously they were a reduced price, but you know, otherwise it was
like, I want chicken nuggets. And they're like,
yeah,
then you will
go
get
die. I wasn't unhappy.
always that person that's like, can I get a kid's plate? Because that looks really good.
Well, at the end of my wedding, when they asked me, they're like, do you need anything before you like go home for the night? I'm like, chicken nuggets. And they're like, well, we got you. Like, no problem. Because we were starving. So it was a busy day.
Yeah.
But I think that's like something everybody has to figure out is like, do you want your kids? How many kids? Yeah. How many people? How big of a place? All those things matter. And how extravagant you want to get. Like we told you, we live in Jersey. We're Italian. We wanted that feeling. And that's what the Tides gave us. The Tides gave us that big, beautiful ballroom with the gorgeous, gorgeous accents on the wall. Tito, who I'm not sure still works there, I've been married for 5 years now, is the one who like helped plan ours.
Okay.
But I don't know what's changed. But as far as like the big grand ballroom, it's beautiful. It's perfect. It gives you the first dance you want. You get to walk down the elegant staircase, which was like something like in movies when I was a kid, like always watched.
Huge, like sweeping staircase that like leads you right into the dance floor. So you're like princess vibes.
But again, you're paying for that. So those are things I think everybody's got to remember. Like, can I pay for that? Or do I need a like just a little bit?
So that's a good question because I know at the Tides they do have like a bridal suite. You could get ready there, but you opted not to get ready there.
No. So we did not. So now remember the other thing too that I usually tell my friends that are getting married now is we did a church wedding. Some people don't, which is okay. But you can get married at the Tides. Like, so the Tides, you can get married there, get ready there. And the suites are beautiful. But that was just not, for us, it wasn't something we wanted. And we wanted to get married locally to the church that was near our house. That's why we did it. But they have, like, the Tides actually offered us, they're like, we have churches that we work with or like people that would come in. So that's like another option. Like I tell like my friends that are brides now that like financially you could look at that. If you want to have it all in one place, you should look at the places that offer you those things. Like they can give you everything all in one shot.
Yeah, the Tides has a nice outdoor ceremony area.
Yeah, beautiful.
Season, you can go outside.
Right. So like, you know, we got married in November. So
freezing.
Not beautiful day, but not outside. Again, not our thing. But they have like the beautiful like botanical garden and all those things, and you can do all that stuff. So like I think those are the other things, like budget wise, you look at what venue is going to give you the most for your money. Like, are they going to give you everything you're looking for your money? And that matters. Those are important things.
Yeah, because some places I thought that every place like offered like a maitre d' or like a planner for the day, and don't. And I'm like, then who's running?
I know.
Who's running all the game plans here? You know what I mean? Like,
not everybody is. Not everybody. Like I didn't hire a wedding planner. Like it was me and my husband. Yeah. You know, I've had friends that got married. They hired a wedding planner for that day because they didn't get a maitre d'. But again, the Tides gave us a maitre d'. So he was like our point guy. You saw him. He was running around with us all day. Well, we took pictures. He was like, I got your shoes. I got your drinks. Like, we're good. Don't worry. Like, this is where we're at. Everything is fine.
True. I remember he would like go right to the bar and get you guys whatever drink you wanted or whatever it is. Like, it was like, you're like, hey, I just need some water. And he was like, bam, here's some.
Don't move. Don't get up. There. Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
Right. Which makes it a little easier because I think the other thing that people don't talk about is that as much as your wedding is supposed to be about you, it turns into being about everybody else. because everybody else is enjoying the food while you're taking pictures and doing all this stuff, and you want to have those points where it gets to be about you and your spouse and you get to enjoy that point. So if sometimes paying for those extra things are going to get you that, then it's worth it. Like for us, having the meter D there, knowing that the timeline, you guys with the pictures and the video, everything was smoothed out and I didn't have to like think about it like, oh my goodness, did they get the PowerPoint when we did the pictures from us when we were little to now, all those other things. So I have my flip flops from when I wanted to change my shoes, and that all was done. And it was one less thing to think about. And it was so nice to have that it was worth the extra money to go in to pay for it in order to have less stress that day. And I think those are things people need to think about when they want to do this.
So I know, like, what were your top three things that you were like, okay, we're going to spend the money on these things? Like in our budget, these are like the big top three. Sounds like venue is one of them.
Venue was the big one. So definitely venue.
What
The
was your second one?
second one, I want to say you. So
Photo and video.
Video and photography was a big deal. Was a big deal because I told you. So I mean, we'll tell our viewers just so they know. I did not have you for my engagement. I had somebody else, and I was not happy with the pictures, and it wasn't a good fit.
Yeah.
So when we ended up getting you, and we got you through recommendation, when we left our meeting, my husband was like, they're perfect. They're perfect. They meet us like so great. Like they're funny like us. They have our same humor. They understand exactly what we want. So that was a big deal to us because we were like, okay. And like we said to you, we wanted a wedding album at the end. And a lot of photographers don't do that now. So those things matter to us. And then I want to say that the third thing I guess that mattered, I want to say the DJ, because again, like you want your DJ to, or whoever, if you got a live band or whatever, you want them to play the music that you want and like respect that. Like we didn't really want anybody coming up to do requests. That was
at the Tides, it's pretty perfect because
they're up above
balcony
you.
above, and like someone really has to come up the stairs for a while to be like,
Yeah.
excuse
And
me.
they don't make it easy. So we were kind of lucky. But I think those three things were like three major things like we really looked into. Like we spent probably the majority of our time when we were planning. Those were the things we did. Like those were the meetings that we made sure like we booked and sat with people and asked because we wanted to be happy that day. We didn't want, we didn't want pictures that we weren't going to love, which obviously didn't happen. We didn't want to be in a place that wasn't going to fit or feel too tight or not be the style we wanted. And we wanted a DJ that was able to play all the music that we like because our genres of music are like everywhere. We like classic rock, but we like Disney, and we like country, but we like Frank Sinatra. So like we needed somebody that was going to know how to do all that without like the crazy like techno, because that's my husband and I are just not those people.
Jersey Shore Club people.
Yeah, no.
Love to visit, but no. Okay. Now on your budget, like, you've got your big three, so that's like a big chunk of money.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that was just like, it was just outside of your budget that you wish you could have had or like had thought about, or things that you maybe forgot to add into your budget that were kind of like, oh, we probably should do this?
So I kind of want to say like my flowers. So my flowers, like I loved my flowers. Don't get me wrong. Like they were perfect, but we didn't do anything like major. Like I know like now they do these big like pieces at the table, which they're beautiful. I've seen so many that they're so pretty. I kind of wish that I did ones that were a little bigger. So mine were like voters and they were very simple, which was fine. But I think if I had to pick that over, I would probably maybe have pushed my flowers to do a little bit bigger, or like a piece that comes up more but doesn't like take up between you and somebody talking. Because that's why I didn't pick like the really tall ones, because I didn't want somebody to have to go like this to like
Thank you.
Yeah.
As a photographer, like sometimes I have to like into the table and like pick it up and gently try and put it on the floor so I can get like if someone asks for table shots,
Right. Like, which we did because you took them. So I think that was something at the end that we were like it was too late to change it, so we didn't do it. And I think the other reason was like flowers and real flowers are expensive.
Yeah.
So those are other things I tell people about, like that I think about. Like, I was lucky. My flowers ended up going into a resin, and they're mine and my husband's initials, so I got to keep them forever. But sometimes, that budget is really hard. Like, you only want to spend like 2,000 or 1,500 or maybe less. So maybe sometimes doing fake flowers or doing artificial, sometimes that's the better option. And honestly, nobody notices. Nobody notices.
Some venues actually offer centerpieces as part of the package.
Yes.
And, like, they're beautiful and no one really cares.
No. So our florist,
so
like our florist was my flowers, all the bridesmaids, both mother and mother of the bride and mother of the groom, the flower girls, and then the petals for the flower girls to put down the aisle. And then I think all the boutonnieres for the guys and my ring bearer. I think all of that was all the florists plus the voters in the middle. And the only other thing, like now that we're discussing it, is I know what we did was when we were in the tides. And so in the tides, when you walk in, the main front table is the bride and groom or whoever, bride and bride, groom and groom, it's them. We didn't make the florist do like a piece for the main table. And I kind of regret not doing it because we just kind of took everybody's bouquet and just like,
oh yeah.
Remember, we kind of just like draped them so you guys could like, it was something there, but not a big thing. And then we have like the Mr. and Mrs. Piece. That's kind of something like when I think about it, I'm like, oh, I wish like I would have budgeted better for that. Like to have like a really pretty, like maybe like a draped piece or just roses or something. That's kind of something I think about. Like I loved how it looked and loved mine, but I think if I had that money or I budgeted a little better, that's something I would have like been like, okay, let's put the money there.
Hindsight's 2020, and when you look back, literally, but when you look back, you're like, oh, okay. I mean, it didn't ruin the day, right?
No.
I could have done it if I had known, right?
Right.
You just don't know.
No. And I feel like sometimes you don't know until you go to somebody else's wedding. Like before yours, like we didn't go to any weddings before our wedding. Nobody got married till after us.
Oh, so you guys were the first. So you were like the pioneers.
So my childhood best friend, we are still best friends to this day. She got married in Florida. So she didn't get married in Jersey. They were like, we're going on a plane. We're going to Florida. We're going to get married in Florida. You either come or you don't come. So we were like, we're obviously going. But she got married on the beach. So that's a whole different thing than us.
Yeah.
So then after we got married and we went to a couple weddings after, like you look at things and go, oh, I could have did that. Like it could have been a little different. But again, it's all personal preference of your day and what is comfortable for you. And maybe fake flower, because some fake flower arrangements are so beautiful and you keep them forever. It's great.
And you can vacuum in them if you need to like dust.
Yeah. Which is perfect. But real flowers only last so long. But
well, and sometimes they don't even last through the wedding day. Like you'll see like on some white roses, like you'll see some antiquing or patinaing the edges of the petals. It's normal, right? But everyone likes that. So.
Right. Yeah. And you have to be careful because and you remember like we were taking those pictures of the flowers up close, like really early, because you said like they might do that. So let's take them really early so that doesn't happen in your pictures.
Yeah. And then you can remember them when they were fresh, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly. Because those usually, from what I remember, my florist was saying, like the bride and that gets done like the day of or the morning of. I don't know that I know that's what he told us. But again, we got married in the afternoon. So again, that affects how they work, and that affects your budget too. Yeah. I think is something like now thinking about it, like, oh, we got married at night. So we had an evening wedding. We've had friends that got married on like a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon. All of those affect your budget. And, sometimes that makes you pick. That makes you pick. Like, do I want to get married at night on like a Friday or a Thursday or on a Sunday afternoon?
Saturdays are usually the first days to go at
Mhm.
venues, right? And they're
Right.
most expensive, but Sunday's also expensive.
Sundays become expensive. It seems like out of normal budget or out of normal time is now starting to be like Thursday, Friday. Like, so I got married on a Friday. Um, but that seems to be how it is. But I've had friends that got married on a Thursday, and then I had a friend that got married on a Saturday afternoon
Yeah.
because that's better for her budget.
Yeah.
But those are definitely things that sometimes those are factors in your money budget is what day and what season. So technically they considered November out of season for weddings.
It's true because it's technically winter.
Right.
You had to pay for transportation because you went from where you were getting ready to the church and then to the venue. So there was transportation involved in your budget.
So we got lucky as far as the hotel was. So the hotel that we used that we got through the tides, they offered the shuttle from the hotel to the venue.
Oh, wow.
So that was taken care of. But as far as transportation from like the church to the venue, everybody was kind of on their own except like us, like the wedding party.
Yeah.
So that I had to pay for. That ended up, I got very lucky. And although I had budgeted for it, it was gifted to me by my parents. That was their gift. That was what they wanted to pay for. So again, but knowing what I knew,
like it's a couple $1,000.
Yeah, again, I looked, it was a $3,000 expense to have like the Rolls Royce, because I wanted an antique Rolls Royce. So we got a Rolls Royce and then we had a party bus for everybody because we didn't want like all the like bridesmaids in one cup. We wanted everybody together. That it was just easier to be together and to celebrate together. The only thing we didn't do, obviously, was we went in the rolls up to the venue. That was like our time to be like, okay, we got 10 minutes to like.
That's right. You're like literally surrounded by so many people all the time. You're like, do we get 5 minutes to say hi? Like,
no. And like we didn't do first looks because
you had the church
fit in the timeline for us and for what we needed. So we saw each other at the church and was like, okay, let's do this. We got things to do. Like we're busy.
Let's get married.
Yes. So, but I think all of that too, like, some photography companies, like first looks are extra or things are extra,
Yeah, we love a first look.
I was going to say, you do. You're definitely high end first look. So we knew we could have it, but like obviously our timeline was just like when we talked, you were like, there's no way.
Yeah. And that's part of like within your budget, right? So sometimes timelines, a lot of people are like, oh, we don't do a timeline or makeup that like I can't tell you how many times my brides reach out to me and they're like, call your photographer and figure out the timeline. And I'm like, oh, they're not gonna do anything. So yeah, there's a lot of moving parts.
I want to say, I think 90% of my timeline was from you because you were like, listen, like we have to do like bride dad pictures, the pictures getting into the car, the pictures getting ready in the house. And then like you and Rob obviously split because we were getting ready in two different locations between us and the groomsmen. So all of that mattered. And it does affect your timeline. Like I know like my makeup artist was here because we got ready at my mom's house at like 6:30 and she was like, let's go. We got
to curl and set your hair.
Day, baby, we got stuff to do. And I was laughing because like normally my hair is straight. So I'm like, it's not gonna take that long. 6 and 7 hours later, you went, okay, it takes that long.
And you're trapped in a chair. Like you can't move. Like it feels like you're just like punching on your face, putting on makeup and like curling. You're just like, I literally can't move from this spot.
I had grandma curlers in my hair for 6 hours before so that it wouldn't fall. And I had hair extensions in. And so, those are things I think everybody has to remember when you want what you want. If you want the big hair, you want the big makeup, you're going to pay for that. And you better make sure up front that like do you have to, because some makeup artists or some hairstylists, or if they're combos, like I had hair extensions. My hairstylist bought the extensions and then we just added it to
Oh,
what we paid for her.
that's nice. See,
But
I
I know,
got
like,
my extensions and
right.
based on the recommendation from my hairstylist. I was like, where should I get them? She's like, get them here. But yeah.
Yeah. So my hairstylist said, this is the brand that I like because it works best. It does what you want for your hair for your wedding. And then the other thing was like, so my hair was dyed 2 shades darker for my wedding because of when we got married. So we had to do that like a couple days before and dye the extension. So those are other things I think you have to think about. You're like hair dye, hairspray, like things that you don't normally every day that you go, oh, I don't need that. You
Yeah.
you do and you pay for. So those are definitely things that you have to sit down and go, how extravagant do I want to be? Like
That's
how
true.
much do I want? And I personally paid for my bridesmaids to have their hair and makeup done. I
That's
paid for them.
nice.
And I think it was more of a, I'm a very type A. I wanted to make sure it was done and not have to worry last second that somebody didn't do it. But I know I've had friends that got married that said, you're on your own. Like, you got to show up that day dressed and ready to go.
Yeah, I guess like it doesn't bother them as much.
Yeah.
Here's
If
another,
that's a type A thing.
hey, like you know that about yourself. It's good. Now, here's a question that I like to ask, because this is something that, like, when my husband and I got married, we've been in the industry for so long, we thought we knew it all. Taxes and service fees. How did that affect your budget?
It definitely affected my budget. It was something that like, so the venue, so the Tides was very upfront. They're like, this is the taxes, this is the service fees, like this is how this goes. And we were like, okay, makes
They were able to give you like the big number with all the taxes.
right. All up that front. Like they were like, look, if you're gonna have 100, I think we ended up like 115 people, like this is what it's gonna cost. And we were like, okay, like at least we know upfront. But I think like the DJ, like you were very upfront. So I knew what I was getting with you. You told me like straight up, like this is what you're getting. Like the DJ, I was like, oh, I'm getting a DJ and like his like equipment. No, I'm getting a DJ and his equipment and an assistant and a photo booth and like, and then when they came at me with the number, I was like, oh, I was like, oh, but I really wanted my DJ because he was so wonderful and I loved him to death. And he was actually the one that said, like, let's do your PowerPoint of like your pictures. So, but honestly, like when they gave us the number, I was like, oh, that's perfect. Like, that's not bad. And then when they were at the end, when we went to get ready to go pay them, because we were made sure we paid everybody before the wedding, because I didn't want to walk around with envelopes in my pocket all day. We were like, why does this look like the deposit? And they were like, taxes. And we were like, oh, we forgot.
You're like, you didn't mention that in the 30 calls that we had.
Right. Oopsies. Yeah. So again, those are just real situations that I think people need to consider. And the other thing is too, is if your job, the job I had at the time when I was getting married, we had very plentiful overtime. So I made sure that I worked extra so that, and that was kind of like my thing to work extra. I was like, ooh, I put another like little bit of money towards the venue, or ooh, I paid for the DJ. That was kind of how I considered it. And it worked for me and worked for my husband when he was working overtime. And that was kind of things that we did, like, and we made sure our overtime came right out of our checks and we put it in a separate like account for our wedding. So I don't know if that's something everybody does, but like for us, making an account for the wedding specifically made it easier because it wasn't money that we were like, oh, we could go out to dinner, we can go on vacation. No, that was money that was paying for our wedding.
You were both set on the same goal of like, you have 2 years to pay.
And we're going to pay this. Yeah.
You're going to do the overtime. You're going to do what you need to do to get
We're
paid.
going to do what we have to do. And it was a lot of work. I want to say it was like 300 something hours of overtime, probably more. It was a lot. It was a lot. But again, my job at that point had very plentiful hours where I could do that. And I didn't have a baby yet. I didn't have a house. I lived in a condo with my 2 dogs, and my husband was very supportive of that. So I was able to say, like, hey, I'm paying for the wedding. I'm not coming home. Okay, no problem. Obviously.
Yeah.
So but again, everybody's situation is a little different. So
Definitely. Wow, I think we've got some really good information on budgets. I think you've helped a lot of future brides and people in general. Like, I like that you're very like focused on that. I feel like sometimes I get a little focused, and then sometimes I'm like, ooh, but I really want this thing over here.
I have to admit now, like 5 years down the road, like I think I'm like a little more like, I can make it up. I'm gonna buy it. Like I want it. I'm gonna have it. It's fine. Like,
yeah, I mean, after you pay for a wedding, like what's another $100?
Right. You're like, oh, it's fine. Like, oh, another 1,000. Okay. Like I paid for this. And
True.
But again, it's like, it's your day. It's your day. It's about you and your spouse. You want to be happy. You want to walk away from the day and go, that was perfect. That was perfect. Minus like any tiny little things that happened. That was absolutely perfect.
Love it.
We're good. Even though, like, I always say, like, I'm never doing it again of all the planning and the budgeting, but it was perfect. And I loved it. And I love that. Like, every time I look at my photo book and from you and Robin, I go, this was so much fun. Like, this was so much fun. We had a great day. Like,
I love that you even mentioned you're like, I busted out my budget binder, and I'm like, I could you with the binder.
I took it everywhere. I think I slept next to it like the month before the wedding. I think my husband was like, are you going to sleep next to me or the binder? Like, are you? No.
You're like, I got the rest of my life to sleep next to you. Right now, it's just me and the binder.
My binder and like all my ideas, because that's what I was doing in the beginning. Like all my ideas went in that binder. And then when we would go to venues to book and we would say like, this is what we're looking for. Like this, we want like these kind of flowers, or this is like the dress I was thinking of, or my bridesmaids. And like my bridesmaids, we changed colors for their dresses. So again, that was a price thing, which sounds ridiculous, but it's a thing to change from one color to the next.
It's true.
And I think I walked around with that binder all the time. And now to think like it's in like my memories box, and I'm like, wow, it's different to not walk around with that thing every day. It's very interesting.
This extra weight. Well, thank you, Rebecca, so much for talking to us about budgets and how important they are and how organized you had to be in order to get there and how dedicated. We really appreciate that. And we will see you the next time on our next podcast. Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you.
This is it for this episode of Real Brides. If you found something helpful, make sure to follow, subscribe, or share it with someone who is planning their I do. We have new episodes every week packed with more real talk from real brides. No filters, just facts. Thanks for listening and happy planning.